Welcome to Culture Shift. I'm your host, Duda Penteado. And today I'm right here with my great friend, Amir. So, my friend, let's begin here. Make a introduction who you are. I'm in the presence of greatness.
I mean, Amir, born in Egypt, uh, arrived in Jersey City when I was 3. Been uh, in the creative world for a very long time, and I kind of define myself as a creative, or in most cases, a co-creator.
So, tell me how was back then coming from a Middle Eastern country, adapting to the Jersey City culture, and then how does art and creativity came about in your life?
So I arrived when I was 3, so I didn't really realize that I was adapting. My first thought was, you know,
I'm in
I'm
America.
American. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I don't remember where I was born. But my mom had pictures of me when I was younger, like around 5 years old, drawing. So my first thought of me being creative was looking at that picture and seeing that I was drawing something. And my mom would always tell me, "You drew a lot," and I was like, I remember a lot of drawings and sketches and just creative stuff from very early. So I knew that's where I always was enjoying myself in terms of the process of creating and outputting.
So that was the beginning.
That's the beginning. Yeah,
So
yeah.
you being around your city, you what, 40 years now?
From 3 to 23, and then I moved to Miami for like 18 years.
Three to
So
23 years old.
yeah,
And then what was the year you moved to Miami?
2001.
2001.
Yeah,
When you moved to Miami, Miami wasn't Wynwood, Art
no,
Basel, was none of that. It was
no.
totally underground, and it looked like Haiti, like the next neighborhood there, right?
Yeah, South Beach was popular. Everybody was in South Beach, but Miami was still up and coming. I got there the right time.
So what did you do there? Tell me. I know we had these conversations. You participated into a time in Miami that was very underground, community oriented. Today you go over there, man, everything is way above the ground, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
It's fancy, a lot of money, a
yeah,
lot
yeah.
of big cars and big events, but it wasn't like that.
No, 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 no. The first, I think, I mean, getting into Miami and meeting and getting to know people and building relationships, that took time. And then in 2004, that's when I went into the creative role of opening up a design studio. So I opened up a design studio in
In
2004
Miami.
in Miami.
What was the location?
It was
Miami Beach or
it
was close
was
to Wynwood? What was?
it was like maybe 10 blocks away from the arena, from the Miami Heat arena.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So it was on like and it was right in front of the bridge to go over to Miami Beach. So it was very visible. I had a storefront. I had the first actually flyer studio storefront
You know,
in 2004.
no, when you think about Miami, Miami is like a crazy place
Yeah.
because one of the main documentaries people knew about Miami is called Miami Cocaine.
Yeah,
It's
man.
the whole story about how they dump
That's
drugs
true.
from South America. So you go from Miami cocaine and, completely like, I don't know, the land of no law and a lot of crazy stuff happening to today, seeing like amazing designs, amazing art, incredible building
No.
designs and events. You have now the Mana. It says a lot of investments in there. Wynwood is blowing up. Then you have Miami Basel. You have Art
There's
Miami, and you
there's
have the
there's
design.
too
The
much.
design Miami is the quality of that is unbelievable.
Yeah, Miami has gone through its early phase, and now it's becoming, a culmination of all those things happening at the same time. And energy, there's a lot of energy in Miami. It's all energy.
And then you have also, if I'm not mistaken, I think the number one Miami followed that there was the second hub of yacht sales on the road.
Yeah,
So we're talking about a lot of money. I
yeah.
guess
No.
I guess when I think about Miami, everybody that is famous in South America has a lot of money and want to find a second home. So they move to Miami. Miami, to me, when I went there almost 20 years ago, my first exhibition in Miami is 2012,
That's
right? So
that was
so it
my
was
first
like
exhibition
was
too.
not nothing. I mean, it was like,
Yeah, it was
wow.
early. It was
I
early.
went to the window. Was like, wow, we're doing here. The guy, man, this is underground. This is gonna be the most amazing place. And I was like, it doesn't really look like, but was totally underground.
It's just super.
And I still remember I was like, oh man, this place is like, what's gonna happen here? And people used to say, well, Miami has on and off moments, but then it took off
Yeah.
in a very consistent way. And investments came in, lifestyle came in, and I think after COVID was the final shift. When I did the project in Miami, a lot of things in the Wynwood and Gallery and Fort Lauderdale. A lot of people were telling me, "Hey, we moved from New York here because we want an outdoor space."
Yeah.
And New York, we locked up in apartments and so on and so forth. So
Yeah. It's a lifestyle. Miami's a lifestyle.
yeah, yeah, and it became something. But listen, before we move out of Miami and come back here to Jersey, New York area, you work with Avicii, right? You show me those videos. We actually want to play one of the videos you did. You did those amazing events. Tell me about the Avicii experiencing, and a little bit of two things. Tell me a little bit about Avicii, and tell me a little bit about the exhibition community stuff that you did.
It's probably Avicii's. I would have to say is by far my best client slash campaign. I call it campaigns. I do campaigns. That's really what I do. So I met and I had been introduced to his manager Ash. I think it was in 2011 or right at the beginning of 2012. We did the ball drop, the New Year's Eve. He performed there. He DJ'd there. I think he was the closer, right? He was the main act. So I did a lot of his promotional products and his branding. So that's what I do. I do creative, right? So after that, his Ash calls me. He's like, "Hey, listen, we want to do a campaign for Ultra Music Fest. This is 2012." And then he wanted me to help him create it, execute it. And then we spoke and I gave him the budget. And then he goes, "Well, how do I know you're gonna do it?" And I was like, "What do you mean? You called me." Right? So when we got past the trust issue and he actually gave me the budget to execute, year one, we did 3 ice cream trucks and gave out ice cream all over Miami Beach, downtown, Wynwood, right? And soft serve ice cream, like amazing ice cream. We gave out.
And Avicii, so people then don't know,
They don't
right?
know.
A lot of people know who Avicii is today, but Avicii is the first DJ superstar in the
Superstar.
world, right?
Yeah, and he wasn't a superstar in 2012.
Yeah.
He hadn't.
You,
He
you
hadn't.
start work with him right at the beginning, right?
Right at the beginning. I gotta definitely say that his manager was was very smart in how he, allowed the creative ideas to take place. Because a lot of people, nah, it's too expensive, and I don't think it's gonna work. But he really didn't say no to anything. And he wanted to see it happen more. And so from 2012 to 2014, we did 3 major campaigns for him, and all of them were I Love Avicii, which is where the I Love Liberty Arts Districts comes from. It was from that campaign.
Yeah, we're gonna talk
Yeah.
about that later. But one of the things I find Netflix put this amazing documentary about Avicii, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna ask you this controversial question here. The end of the documentary, the way he died is so weird. He goes to this island to this trip, and then he's just like sort of disappear, fades away. Nobody knows how he died.
Allegedly, he committed suicide.
What do you really, thinking about Avicii? What I really think about the guy was overworked. Is the classical case of an artist who gets a chance and the promoters just juice everything out of the artist, and he was drained and he was stressed. But I don't understand about I guess the closing documentary, what happened with his life. What's your take on that? What do you really think it happened?
I mean,
It's just your opinion, man.
allegedly he committed suicide, but I don't think that that's what happened. I think he was definitely going through a lot. As an artist, as a creator, he was doing things that he wasn't comfortable doing in terms of like being, in situations where he's DJing like, weeks at a time. Like there's no break, like so I think his mental health was taking a toll because he started off as a young DJ, and in his earlier years you could see how he was enjoying everything, and as time went on you can tell he was in conflict, right? And a lot of that conflict was because I think it was a little bit more than what he expected, like the fame, the expectations, the access,
Yeah, he was doing a lot of drinking and
a lot
started
of
doing
drink.
drugs. So one of his problems was
He
that he
couldn't
was very
perform.
shy.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
couldn't perform.
Yeah. So he
So
would
he needed to be numb,
sure,
right, to
sure,
be able
sure,
to
sure.
do those things. And so, sometimes people, it's very interesting. When people become famous, people most of the time fall in love for the myth, for the image, and kind of forget the person, right? The
Yeah.
human being. And that's a challenge for the artist in itself.
They become an
Is
idol.
yeah. Are you be able to be in touch with yourself, or now you yourself became the idol?
Sure.
So I think the artist has to deal with that, but
Sure.
also the public um really falls in love with the image
Yeah.
and wants just more of that, and not thinking about the artist in itself. So in a way, he became a classic victim
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
of
I was
that.
I was I was actually talking to my brother about this the other day because I love Avicii, not because of the campaign, but he's one of my favorite artists. He was a tremendous talent in that field. Like you can tell his music moves, so you can tell.
He was composing stuff.
Yeah, he
It's
was.
interesting.
He was
He came
creating.
when you watch a documentary, it talks about that. It shows him
He
composing.
was,
So he
yeah.
was just not a classic DJ.
No.
He had the DJ talent. I think he's the guy crossing that. Somebody
Yeah.
he composed and
He's
like
a
to
producer.
DJ, and he was. I agree with you. He was.
So I was talking to my brother. I said, let me ask you this. I said, is Avicii better off that he became who he was, or if he would have had to do it again, would he have decided not to do it? And I think he would have decided not to do it.
Should not be coming Avicii.
Correct.
Oh, that's interesting. You know,
Like if you knew
mm,
that because I mean he went. I remember when I was representing him. I think he was like number 68 or 69 ranked. You know, and in 2014 he was number one.
and he has that song. Oh,
Oh, man,
sometimes you
all his
gotta.
all
That
his
sometimes
songs.
you got a good feeling.
Yeah, all
It's
his
just
classics.
everybody knows
All
that song. He had
everybody.
a tremendous talent to tap into already mixed songs. Then he
He,
reconnected to the next generation in a powerful way. And we forget
yeah,
how sometimes our music is as powerful as such a powerful conduit.
it is.
You know,
It is. I
so
think
we
it's
want to take a moment to show the video here of you doing the promo to Avicii, because you add all the incredible visuals, your talent.
yeah.
But before we come back to Jersey City, tell me a little more about, you did the underground exhibition where we're gonna also show a video where you put all these artists, you rented this warehouse,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you bought
Yeah.
all these art
Freedom.
activities. Tell us a little bit about that.
Um, before anything, I'm an artist and I'm a creative, so that's always like what I enjoy doing. So if I could find a way to do it within what I'm doing, to make money, I produce, right? So I wanted to produce an art show in 2014 to be able to put my art into the show around many other great artists, because I've been at that point, it was my third show. I did two other shows before that, 2012, 2013, or 2014. I was like, you know what? I can get into Art Miami and into Art Basel. Just rent a booth, and you're positioned next to all these, high caliber artists, right? But When I tried to apply to get into art Miami or Basel, they told me if I didn't have gallery representation, I couldn't put my art
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah, you're right. I mean, the
There
Art
was a there
Basel,
was
Art Basel at Miami, they come from the classic model.
sure, yeah,
So you're coming from the community underground thing.
yeah. So
Yeah,
they
they
blocked me.
until today they not that. They
Yeah,
not that.
no, no, for sure.
What you did, it was very unique.
Yeah. So I mean, I was a little upset at first, but then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just try to pull off my own show. And so I created a show called Freedom and gave all the walls and the space to all the artists for free, as long as they were gonna come and put the mural up. But of course, I had to see what the art looked like. The theme was
Yeah,
was
yeah, yeah.
freedom.
So you're the artist, designer, uh, promoter,
I had a lot of
and
help.
then you also did some curatorial work with your team.
Yeah.
So you're really a high level producer for, I guess, underground festivities, art events.
I
That's
mean,
kind of.
I
I
just
mean,
call it
I saw
ideas.
I
It's
saw
just
those videos, bro. They look
yeah.
that event you put together was amazing.
It's always possible when you have the right budget, always. And then besides budget, I mean, which is important, is to have a good team that can execute. That's the most important thing. The team has to be able to execute the vision, and sometimes the vision becomes collaborated, right? So the team has to be able to pivot when something changes, because most of it, like when you see it on video, it's because you see the end product. But there was a lot of in between things that had to change, shift,
Yeah, 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 yeah. Art is always that.
readapted real quick,
Yeah, yeah.
real time.
I think that your point you bring is very important. It's
Yeah.
important to say that because a lot of people they think like if you want to be an artist, you have to commit your life to it because there's always extra time. Things always changing. Artists sometimes are difficult or
Everything is
partner with things get complicated. So you put a lot of hours and it's very very fluid in a way.
yeah.
So you begin here and you end up
Yeah,
here.
you have to create fluidly so that this way you can allow it, right? Because you could try to be rigid and execute it the way you see it, but you can be very disappointed when things don't happen. I'll give you a perfect example. Last one about Avicii. This is probably by far one of my best stories, and nobody's ever really heard it, right? But people who were there know. So we were contracted to do a billboard for Avicii in 2014 on Collins Avenue, right? And it's not something that you can do. Like you can't do it. Like you got to pull permits, and it wouldn't be allowed anyway. So we kind of took the task on, but we also had told his manager at that point that it was possibly not going to happen, and maybe we would have to go to jail for a day or two and pay a fine. So we charged him the fine and the bail money up front, and he paid it. And he said, go ahead and try to do it. If you can do it, you'll get a bonus. If you can't do it, you won't get paid for what we were charging for the execution. So he paid for all of the materials. We built the billboard. It was 12 feet high. No, it was 8 feet high by 130 feet. It was a really big billboard, right? And we scheduled a crew to do it. We scheduled the production. And so when they came to put it up around 4:00 in the morning, they were exhausted and they had to reschedule for the next day, which we didn't. We only had that one day. So it was about maybe a quarter of the billboard up, and the rest we couldn't do. And so we got a lot of pressure. We got a lot of pressure to leave and to not do it. Like they were telling us, hey, you can't do it. And so we came back like 2 days later and wrapped the entire wall. Hopefully you'll see it in the video. I'll point that out if it comes out. But at the end of the day, it looked better than what anybody else thought it was going to look like, because we knew what it was supposed to look like, but it didn't end up looking like that because we ran out of time, and we kind of, it was a prayer to even get that up, right? It was a high degree of difficulty. And what we pulled off, although his manager wasn't happy, but at least he was like, you know what? He goes, that was a good save. He goes, because you were about to, you know, like in his opinion, uh, be reprimanded for not being able to execute it. Although we told him it's impossible. Like if we even pull it off, you got to take it as a win. And so we pulled it off.
You know, it's great you're telling this story because art is just like borderline with so many things, and sometimes it feels maybe illegal, but where sometimes you need to have the art then is
It's the
to be
expression.
versive,
It's the expression. You
to
have
be
to,
versive,
yeah.
because with that you creating a message and
But let me tell you, man, that and hopefully you'll see it on the videos. It's 2014. Play the 2014. No, okay.
well
We'll get to that.
we'll play
But
some scenes later.
the crazy thing is that in that moment of time, that corner that we did it on was Collins and 17th, which was the most highly visible corner in all of South Beach.
That's amazing.
So a lot of people saw that. So I'm sure a lot of his fans, because it was actually the store, it was the Avicii store, and they sold all the merch. They sold out. It was incredible, man. It was just, truly one of my favorite campaigns. His team was amazing to work with. Ash was very had high expectations, but he also wasn't afraid to pay for it, which is, in my opinion, a risk in and of itself. But
Yeah.
as you can see,
Which brings me back to my next point. You have to be in the right place and the right time and meet the right people to make things happen. It's
Sure.
always need these three
Yeah.
ingredients. So let's come back now. You did a lot of things in Miami. You closed the chapter.
Yeah.
Now, what year you come back to Jersey City? And obviously, the Miami experience kind of changed a lot of things in you.
Yeah.
When you came to Jersey City, what was the year and what were you thinking about it?
I came back in 2018. And I had returned back to Jersey because my wife was taking care of our kids and she had her family up here, and the life of building and creating and learning and developing now was focused on developing on my family and being closer to my family. My wife was pretty much doing most of the care on her own, which is obviously, if you have kids, it's very difficult. But I left Miami after I launched the Buzzbox program, which was a free haircut program for kids that was modeled through sponsorship, and the benefit was mentorship and helping the kids look and feel better, and they were earning the haircut. And so I developed that and got a grant to run the program with Alonzo Mornings Foundation, which is the Overtown Youth Center. And my relationship was through Tina Brown, who would always want me to come and help get kids haircuts because, as you know, I had a barbershop in Miami for 10 years. Chop shop, we didn't talk about that. But that was the foundation for that. And so when I was able to finish and do the program for 9 months and execute it above everybody's expectations, when I came back to Jersey, I was like, okay, well, I got to focus on this because it really worked.
So Amir never stopped. Amir is always, I guess, he always being that designer, artist, producer, then always thought about how art is this intersection with community, right?
Sure.
So Buzzbox is kind of naturally come from that, and it's
No.
sort of an experience through haircuts, then it's connecting community, right?
No.
So I met you, so this is kind of when we met, right? Or that was when we were celebrating the JCY Map 10-year
Yeah.
anniversary. And the director of culture affairs Christine tells me to come and meet you. I came here, right here in the Liber Art District and 90 Forest, and I met you and we hit off.
Yeah.
The day I meet you, we like, hey, you want to do it? You're not going to do it, not going to do it. And the end of our conversation is, I tell him, if you give me all the wall, then we're going to do this, right? And we're going to bring the youth, we're going to do the 10th anniversary. But to me, the amazing thing right away is like how meeting you, your excitement actually about the arts, about the kids, and about the community. So right away, you show me these amazing designs of Buzzbox and the trucks, and I'm like, wow, there's something special here. And I've been here with you since. It's
Yeah,
almost 2 years now.
yeah. Well, you know what it is, you meet people who share the same passions or maybe on the same frequency. Is this it's very easy to continue to grow into, because there's no expectation really, right? I Everything that we did and created during that 10-year anniversary was like,
That was
it
amazing.
was
We
amazing.
closed
Yeah,
the block.
yeah,
We rent things, culture affairs came. We did the top party. I
high
mean,
level,
that was
high
the
level
first
execution.
high level, and was the first time uh people actually the community, because once we finished the JCY map, we, obviously is the training program with the youth, and we always do that documentary that documents the process. Um, we do the celebration, the closing party, gallery thing.
Yeah.
You help us with the gallery. But one of the things was amazing was the first time you could come see the film, see the gallery, and see the wall at the same
Wow.
time. Most of the time, the wall is in a different location, so people had the full experience. And that was on a Thursday, and then on the Saturday, we had the ribbon cutting and a gallery. So it was like a 3-4 day celebration. You were in a documentary, your
Yeah.
whole team, and we won. By the way, we just won best director with a
Nice.
documentary in a film festival in New York City
Congrats.
called Art is Alive. I
Nice.
just did an interview with the founder and director of the Arts Alive Film
That's awesome.
Festival last week, talking about the 10th anniversary.
Yeah, I mean, I think the best thing for me, like what I got out of all that, was being able to come in and curate a vision from conception to reality, and to make it actually physical, which that's the true, magic in everything that works. And of course, the people that you're creating with and executing with, if you vibe and you connect, then it'll be amazing. And then if there's like anything else, issues or problems, and you're fluid with it. And I think I think the outcome of the 10-year anniversary mural was, for me, it was above what I expected, which was really good, right? Because I had a wall, no budget, no money, applied for grants, didn't get it. And myself, Mac, and my brother, we were focused on getting that wall painted. We were going to figure out how to do it. There was nothing that was going to stop us from painting
Here
that wall.
goes.
And then here you go. You come in and you're like, can I get the whole wall? And I'm like, is he asking us? Well, I don't understand.
Yeah, man.
I was like, of course. Like that's what we almost manifested it, and then it happened. And then, it's like when they say, when you have an opportunity, we were like, yeah, sure, let's do it. And we left it up to faith, because we didn't know you and you didn't know us. And there was no reason.
I think when you're a long time in the industry,
Yeah.
you can sense people. It's
I-
a weird
100%.
thing, because through the experience you go through so many changes and adaptations. Then at one point you have developed a, I would say, very well trained gut feeling about who is really serious and who is really good. Because we're talking about here right before the interview, when you work with art, there's great ideas and there's how that comes to fruition.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So if we work, sometimes I work with people, they have amazing ideas. Then I'm gonna check on them. I'm like, these people actually just talk. They don't do nothing. So
Yeah.
for me, two things are very important.
Yeah.
These people had great ideas, because ideas is the beginning of everything. But how are we putting those ideas in place? It is very important, and not just putting in place, the quality how.
Yeah.
So to me, working with you, the quality of design, the care, and plus, you right away show love and care for the kids, right? You help me to find sponsors for food in the neighborhood.
Yeah, that was,
You really
wasn't that
like
difficult.
embrace this in a powerful way. So I thank God then that I met you to do the 10th anniversary. And then I was like, man,
Likewise.
this guy. And because of you, I met the other guys. I met Don from 92, Dan from Sinhalese, and all the other guys, Mike from the grind in the neighborhood. One brought pizza, the
Yeah.
other one sponsored that, the other one
Coffee.
brought coffee. and it became like a community. It was like there's like, and then Andrew from Epic came along and they did the live podcast. We like went crazy. I was like, man, it's just more ideas, more and more ideas. Your brother, Big Ed and Mac. It's like we have a whole tribe going on. So I
Yeah.
felt like was a very natural place to be, to just find a tribe that understands what we want to do and those intersections, right? Community, art, education, building the next generation
Hmm.
is amazing.
Yeah.
Which I think it led to our next thing, right? I'm wearing this amazing shirt here, right? What does it say, y'all? Huh?
I love Liberty Arts
There you
District.
go.
Jersey City.
Designed by
Jersey
the
City.
only Amir here at this fantastic design. But
Thank you.
right after this 10th anniversary, we embark in this journey about the Liber Art District, right? And you always a co-founder with the vision. You did all the initial designs and
I'm gonna give Ed the credit. He came up with and he
Ed, your brother.
inspired the
Your
name.
brother?
Yeah, Ed, my
Okay,
brother.
okay. So
He's
you
gonna
and your
want
brother-
credit.
yeah,
He's
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
want credit
We need-
because
bring everybody that needs to be brought to this moment here. Yeah.
we were thinking about it, like, so obviously, coming from Wynwood, we landed in that space and I immediately knew that there was a potential there. Like I felt it, and then when we finished the mural after that was done, I was like, okay, mission accomplished in terms of identifying a community through a mural that was interactive, right? Because you can now interact with this mural. Like, it's no longer just a painting on a wall. It's an experience that you have that's curated by whoever's sponsoring or supporting. So we've done many, many events in the past year ever since the mural's been up, and all of them have been amazing. And the people and the vibe, which, I would say probably, 90% of the events went well in terms of expectation. But
Yeah.
but the point is that creating that was such a difficult thing, being from Jersey City, right?
I think the reality is, Amir, starting something. I hear people saying, "Man, I want to be the pioneer guy," and this. I'm like, you don't want to be no pioneer. The
hard
guy
work.
who is the pioneer is the guy who paid the price. And
Yeah.
I have always two sayings. One about being the pioneer. Nobody wants to be. There's all the hard work, and everybody who comes after is easier. They get the credit. And, so I tell people it's not easy to be the pioneer of anything, man.
No.
So to be the visionary, because you're the one who needs to convince people.
Well, I'll be honest with you.
most
Listen,
of the
I'll be honest with you. Look, I mean, I'm gonna have to tell you the truth. Jersey City's always been a pioneer for the creatives. It's not me. Jersey City. I grew up in Jersey City. So much talent, so much of what you see in New York and what you see in California originated from Jersey City.
yeah, you have.
There's a lot. I mean, listen, they might not get the credit, or they might not be known, or maybe they are. But the point is there's so much talent that culminates from Jersey City. So the reason why I'm as creative as I am, and I'm in that position to do something as I did, was because I was exposed to it when I was younger in terms of talent, and I got to see that talent in my community, and then from there I was like, well, if that's possible, then why can't I do this? And so I got to give credit to Jersey City. That's why it's Liberty Arts District in Jersey City, because
I agree with you.
Jersey
Jersey
City.
City was being a powerful underground movement.
sure,
Queen Latifah was here.
everybody was here.
The Village People was here.
Everybody.
Mike Tyson did this
Joe
show.
Budden, he's Joe Budden, most influential podcaster and pretty much pioneering the game.
Right.
So a lot of pioneers do come from Jersey City. It's not always the best to be the pioneer, because it's the most difficult. But to be honest with you, I kind of enjoy what I do, and if I did it for the money or the payback or whatever it was, man, I'd have quit a long time ago.
What was the other artist? I forgot his name. The rapper. Has a very distinct sound. Also from Jersey City. I forgot his name now. You know him.
Akon?
Akon. Akon is from
Akon's
here.
from Jersey City.
Yeah.
I grew up with Akon.
Yeah. So Jersey City has always so much talent, and I'm just around. I mean, I'm around Jersey City a while now. It's gonna be 25 years. I participated in the underground movement of with Ron English, who was
Yeah.
today on the top pop artists in the world and graffiti artists, and was doing interventions and billboards. So we were
Yeah.
doing interventions in Jersey City and New York City together. So you're right about that. Sometimes we don't think, but there's a spiritual energy
There
about
is.
towns.
There is.
And Jersey City is an incredible, if I have to define Jersey City, is an incredible underground creative place. A lot of voices and incredible creativities come here and they go hit the road. They go be big in New York and other places.
I
So
mean, they established themselves. It comes through. There's a lot of really, really great people. There are a lot of talented creatives in Jersey City. There's a great vibe, and it's less expensive than New York. But everybody thinks that making it in New York, they can make it anywhere. But I'm from Jersey City.
one of the most famous artists, contemporary artists today that you grew up with him too. Um, what's his name? Oh man, I'm bad today. What's his name?
Cause,
Cause.
yeah, Cause. I
Yes,
used to skateboard
Cause.
with Cause.
You skateboard with Cause.
Yeah,
You
I
see,
used to
Cause
skateboard with
became one
Cause.
of the most. So again, Jersey City. Jersey City
Yeah.
has one hit after the other.
But you know what it is it's that's the truth. When I first saw this project, I saw it like Wynwood, but I saw it like Wynwood for Jersey City. Like
Yeah,
I saw it like
which is a different thing.
yeah, which is a different thing, but it doesn't mean that it can't be like in my opinion as an artist, artists are creators, you know what I mean? There should be no struggling artists. Everybody should be as well off as Cause or Shepard Ferry.
I
If
don't
you're an
know,
artist,
man.
if you obviously are contributing with your craft in a way that it's expressionistic, you know what I mean? Where you're not just,
Well, I think what you're presenting now is a completely different conversation.
Yeah,
What happens with
it's
artists
possible.
and how they become famous.
But it's not even about fame as much as it is being able to produce and create and
Well, it has to do with fame too. I mean, what I mean, fame is not the fame's sake.
yeah.
Is be able to be in the market. So,
That's a
one of the
difference, that's a
conversations I
difference,
have
yeah.
with people is if you can't look every art. It's not every art that expensive is great art, by the way.
No.
You could have a great merchant that knows how to put in the market, but your art be weak, right? But the reality is, great art sometimes you need to understand the business of art. They're two different things, right?
That's
So,
That's
so always when I doing my training for the youth, I get into those conversations and create expectations. Like you need to know the business, you need to know how to grow in the business, and sometimes you could be an amazing artist and
No,
never
there's
hit
so many
and never
no,
yeah
they never break because it's
yeah.
you have to understand the artists when they're working with their their creative mind and they're putting so much emphasis on that business side doesn't really ever grow. Or I was fortunate enough to be able to be creative early and do the arts and the designing and the creating more as a passion, and then as I went through my educational career, I've always found myself in sales, right? So I was always working that side of the brain for a very long time, trying to figure out how the market works, and just being able to understand sales and business and being creative is an advantage that most people probably won't have, because the really, really, truly creative people never spend any time on the business side because that's their
Yeah,
and so
and
it's
that
very hard for them
and that
to see that part.
well, that's when they get trapped,
Yeah,
right? They
yeah.
they not thinking about that. They're not
No,
prepared, and if they don't know how to deal with promoters, they get locked in
it's
bad
tough.
deals.
Yeah, it's tough.
So this is a whole
It's a whole nother,
different
yeah.
conversation. But what we're talking about here is really now how Jersey City is this hub of creativity. You have so many. Even Mike Tyson did
Yeah.
the bird show. Then he had those
He's on tunnel, yeah.
the pigeons, right, flying all over. I was here in Jersey City, so somehow people got attracted to this incredible artistic underground energy, which leads to, I think, my last question for you, which is, with your energy, your creative mind, and I think you have a rare talent to bring art experiences into artistic design manifestations as well. It's very rare. I work a lot of designs in my life, and you have this rare talent to really work in that space. So, and obviously, you are one of the co-founders of Liber Art District. Where are we going with this? And what you thinking is the opportunity with the World Cup happening right now in 2026 and coming right through Jersey City?
Yeah, that's gonna be like I said again. I don't think that that's a coincidence. You know what I mean? Like Jersey
True,
City, yeah,
true,
Jersey
true,
City,
true,
yeah, we're
true.
here. You know, we're
Yes.
here. It's coming here, and so I think the best thing for us to do, especially in the Liberty Arts District, is to really share and show what this community looks like, to create opportunities for people to engage and activate and enjoy during a time where there's going to be a lot of things happening. There's going to be a lot of people. They're going to be looking and like as most people do when they go to a place where they've never been, is to venture out and explore. And the goal would be for them to find Liberty Arts District and really enjoy not just the vibe that we're curating and building, but enjoy all those great businesses and people that are already here. Like there's a lot here, um, in terms of being able to like really have a great experience, right? Because you know, and then plus we have the opportunity to come to Jersey City, so why not move forward and continue, right? Because Jersey City really truly needs to be visible on the map, right? For its creativity, not its development, not its buildings or whatever else that they're focused on at the moment. It's got to be the creativity. This is a very cultural city, culture shift, obviously. It's a very cultural city,
And,
Jersey
and
City.
and that's why I came up with the name Culture
Yeah,
Shift. And that's why we're right here, the Liberal Art District, because
yeah,
it came out of all this conversation inspirations.
yeah.
And I think, I think in a way it's cool to be underground in that sense, because we're cultivating new voices, and I think we don't know yet what's gonna happen, but
No,
you're right about that. You kind of speaking about this spiritual concept. Then why are things being attracted to Jersey City? I think it's called Jersey City time, right?
yeah, it's time.
It's
I
time,
mean,
right?
it's definitely a momentum.
True.
It's a moment that's gonna create momentum. So I already felt it when I arrived in that space. Like I already knew it, and then when we did the mural, I was like, okay, now it's
And
here.
in retrospective of that, since the mural,
Yeah,
we had almost a year with incredible
yeah.
events.
Unbelievable.
We have an Instagram,
Yeah,
we have break dance, artists came through, and you had like festivities on the street. We have great food around this neighborhood.
no,
It's just like Bergen Lafayette Liber Art District
that's a thing.
is a thing.
That's a
Is a
thing.
thing to be. If you out there, listen, you don't need to wait the World Cup. We're gonna be
Ah,
creating few powerful events, and you should come and join, because this is a mix of great food, great art, and it's still very organic and
it's early.
underground.
Yeah, it's early.
There's a lot of character in this
Wow.
neighborhood.
Yeah. I think in the next year, and beyond, had like exactly how Winwood was established was through the early, the early creatives, the early businesses, the early stage contributors. You know what I mean? But you get to at the early part shape it into what you want it to become, and then hopefully you can hold on to that because it'll change.
Right.
It'll change. But everything has its time, and so we just to do it at this point in Jersey City. For me, being from Jersey City, it's really amazing because I get to create something in my home, right? In collaboration with others, right? With a purpose of making it more community centric, which is where I enjoy being. Like it's my common ground, creative and community. I'm good.
So maybe we're in the right place, in the right time, and we're meeting the right people with the three ingredients
Yeah,
for total explosion in a powerful way. Amir, I want to thank you so
my pleasure.
much bro. It's great to be with you, man, with a creative force. And I appreciate you here, man.
No, likewise. Thank you so much.
To be continued.
To be continued. Thank you so much.
All right, guys, this is the end of our show. We have fantastic guests coming in the next episodes. Stay connected and to be continued.